Hi guys, Shirley here. Here we go with a cafe, and it's an inside one this time. It's not outside, and there's figures, so it's going to be a challenge. It's not a beginner painting at all, but I'll do it, and you can see how I approach it. I will try and simplify it and make it doable. Anyway. The details, the original photograph will be on my website, and the sketch, possibly, I'll put it on the website and you can download that to start you off, or the actual drawing side of it I'll put up on my Patreon page. So details below for all that. So let's get started with the sketch. So my colours are listed below this video in the description. If you're watching on television, you can see, if you go to this channel, you can see the details, but it's probably easier to get your mobile phone out and double check. You can usually see details on the mobile phone version of YouTube. Anyway, these are the paints. They're Daniel Smith, and my brushes. Oh, by the way, the Daniel Smith paints don't come... Oh. Sorry. This is how I buy them. I buy them in tubes, like that. And then I squeeze the tube. You buy the palette empty, and you squeeze the tube into these. And then you let them dry. And once they're solid dry, after say a week, you can use them straight away, like just squeeze a little bit onto a palette and use it straight away for if you're impatient. But if you let them dry, then they become like proper pans of watercolour, and that way you wet them up, you use the paint, and then you just let it go. You don't have to worry about them drying out, because that's the way they're supposed to be. You keep using them over and over, and when they run low, like I do sometimes, I will replenish each one as you use them up. So that's it. And the brushes, quickly. I have this long thin one. I'm struggling with the point. There seems to be some. It's good. It's an Alvaro Castagnet a mop, number 6. I like to use this little straight edge. It's just a number 10 flat by Reeves. It's just synthetic. And I have an assortment of these sort of Asian style calligraphy brushes, which when they're wet, I'll show you right now, come to a beautiful point. That one and this little one. And you can get these fairly cheap. Art Basics, calligraphy they're called, so calligraphy pens. Beautiful, what do you call this, Kalinsky? That would be possibly animal hair. Just trying to think, giving it a bit of a wash. I can't see it. Now this baby is a Escoda. It's synthetic. It's number 2, and it's a rigger. And riggers are especially designed to do lines. So I've got lots of line. And I found this old favourite. It's actually got a zigzag little top on it. But I don't know if I'll use it for this particular painting, but I did find it amongst my gear. As you can see, I've got heaps to choose from because over the years I've been a little bit of a spendthrift when it comes to buying brushes. But not a lot of these. I think this one here, this mop, I might give that a go this time. It's fairly new. It's NEEF, that's NWF, and 1 1/4 inch they call that, camel hair. It was wasn't really expensive, not like these other, this type of thing. They're very dear. Anyway, I'm going to wet the whole page first and have a think about. Oh, I have trouble with this. My spritzer has stopped spritzing. I know, I'll get a bigger one. This will get it. I want to wet the page. Sometimes I dunk the page in water, depending on what I'm doing, what type of painting it's going to be, how wet I need it. Watercolour, with landscapes I like it very wet because I like a lot of blending. Okay, here we go. Right, okay, now we're doing it. I don't know if you can see that in the light. Oh, I've listed below, you can buy a whole pack of these for a very reasonable price. Okay, having wet the whole page, I now have to make a very quick decision on what I'm going to paint. Oh, where's my picture? Okay, it keeps turning off. I might have to fix that. Right, warm colours all over. I can't see much blue in there at all, so I might start with a nice warm blue. This is no good. Welcome to amateur hour. Basically what YouTubes are all about, isn't it? Just not Netflix. I'll just tip that outside. Obviously you can see I'm a yogurt eater. Just needed that wider, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing even. No, you can't. Okay. Maybe you can see up there. Oh yeah, you can, that one. Now I'm going to go for, with my colours here, I'll move all the brushes behind. I'll move the spare water out of the way, pencils over there, make a big amount of space for this. So I'm going to go to the tiniest of blue to start with, ultramarine blue. There. Now I'm going to go down to my browns. So I'm just putting plain brown on the brush at this stage. As in burnt sienna is what I call plain brown. And then I'll mix a touch of blue, ultramarine blue, in with the burnt sienna. Give myself some nice dark supports for this painting. Right, a couple of things I need to do. I need to add a bit more water. So I might switch to this slightly more controlled mop and see if I can get some darks in such a way that they will stay dark. Once again, blue and brown. I vary between, I put a little bit more on the brush when I want to go, of blue when I want to go darker. And then I let the browns come through. Okay. I'm going to dry that at this stage and then come back with a second layer. The thing about watercolour, it's all about transparencies. You dry each layer and then you can come back over the top. If I wanted to go wet in wet and add any more detail now to make it blurry, I could do that, or I can re-wet the paper again, but we'll go through that later. Okay. As you can tell, now that it's dry, very dry, it has become much lighter, and therefore we can now go and apply more darks to the dark areas. I will eventually be wanting some parts of this to be black, and then I'll be wanting this area to be in silhouette against the light. So I can have a little bit of fun in the meantime, and I'll start with sketching in some of the details in the background there. Oop. My head keeps knocking my overhead camera. Oh my God, I'm so hopeless. So here's another thought. Even though I've dried it off now, this is what I was talking about before, I'm just going to spray a little bit back on there. This won't make that paint move at all. That's locked in once it's dried, to a degree. If it's really thick paint, of course, it will keep moving around, but the actual, what do you call it, the thinner paint that I've just put on as a wash won't. Oh, there's a reflection in that. Okay, gold. So I'm just very finely putting in the detail in the background there of those windows. I can't see a roof, they go up, obviously. Beautiful. I'd say that thing there goes all the way up too. I'll just, oops. Go for quite a dark grey, which is my usual burnt sienna, and okay, ultramarine blue. Just going to put a touch of the people in there. Something hanging on that rack. I've got the wrong blue. I need to take some of these blues out of bright blue in amongst my dull blues. There's a bit of flaw. Kind of shadows that go like that, you know, how you get cross lights. A bit more blue to that column. That's a fairly important column. When I say if I say blue, I mean ultramarine blue. If I say brown, I mean burnt sienna. So I'll just try and use those kind of shortcuts. So there's a bit of detail across the back. Because I've sprayed it, this is all going to go very soft. And I'm just quickly sketching in the structural details. That's that. That's that. Start adding a bit of colour here. Purple on my brush, but it's not purpling up very well. Okay. Right, I'm beginning to think that's too tight for too early in the piece. I think I need to go a lot darker, a lot looser and darker at this stage. I'm deliberately doing slight angle because that's the way it was photographed. And I'd like to give myself credit for at the time making a decision. Actually, I might just put that straight down there. Come back to this lady, darken left-hand side because she's got light coming in from here. I'll just come behind this guy on his chair. It's a very dark red, that chair. So I'd go for the full. For me, dark red means brown. Right. Okay, have a bit of a pause. Think about some shapes like that. Side of his chair. His legs go like that. I'll do him like that. Right. Okay. Putting a bit of red there. Putting a touch of red here and there so I can feel get a feel for what the finished painting start. I want to start to beginning to work. I can see I need a lot of gold, and this colour here and there. Okay. Sometimes adding the third colour. See, I've got blue and brown are the main colours. Adding the third colour, red, gives you the beginning of the complete picture. Now I'm going to add in some gold now, some real yellow. Oh, I've got this thing called Aussie gold. Drives me nuts, it's too bright, but it might be just perfect for this particular use because I want to put these little baubles hanging down. Make it look like they're chandeliers, and there's some over here too. And then the top of the bench is quite gold. I can put the tops of those chairs in this gold. Okay. Go back to sort of a neutral colour there. Neutral colour there. The chairs, the back of the chairs of her. At this stage it looks like you can't make head or tail of what's going on, but I'm hoping that in my mind I can tell the difference between different shapes. That's the lady's coat. some blues in here. Darken that area off. The back of this, there's a mirror, and it's reflecting brightly, lots of bottles on it. So I might go in for a little bit of alfresco grey or neutral tint. There are the bottles. Yay, there's the mirror. Shelf underneath. Flowers. In that vase. Sitting just there. Black there. Okay. Bit stuck here. There is a sort of like a wall going, not a wall, but the top of a mezzanine floor or something at the top there. If in doubt, I've put 2 lines in there. Now what I'm going to do is wet the brush and just with water drag it through the centre. I don't know whether to make a big deal of it or to play it down. Just there. Once again, that needs to be really dark. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about any detail in that. Oh, there's that man. Just going to go straight up with that. Bit too blue, so I'll brown it off with plain brown. Wipe the brush and pick up. That's a lot of water there, a lot of wetness. Okay. Characters in there. Here I'm going to put this man in and the lady. He's got his hands in front of him, so I'll just bring that down like that. Her hands there. The tabletop. Now this lady's got quite nice hair that's going to be very dark on one side and light on the other. And to show that off, I need to paint the area behind where she's sitting. Otherwise it won't show properly. Okay, we can have that all in shadow. Lots of seats and things happening here. Details. I think I'll run down an edge on that. Once again, put the edge of paint there. Plain water on your, or no water on your brush, just a damp brush. Run it down like that and you'll end up with a nice sharp edge blending out. Add some more plain brown to this area behind here. Lots of detail in the background, lots of busyness, so you just sort of fiddle around like that. Actually, that guy's going. I can't keep up with him. Okay. Now, what next? Details. This is looking all very busy, not working there at all. So I think I'll get blue on my brush and knock it back with some brown. Let's bring that down like that. Join that all up. Come in later with a little bit of white for those chairs. Now there's chairs here too that all join together. I might darken that off at the back, yeah. Okay, so go for a little bit of brown and lamp black to get a really dark shade on that chair there. And on that chair there, that chair there. So I'm going darker and darker. Okay. This is looking messy here too. So maybe I'll get rid of that one chair. Thin that off. I want all the detail to be around here. I don't want it at this area at the front here. Gentleman sitting in dark blue outfit. Virtually black there. Okay. When a painting gets to this stage, you sometimes feel you've lost it completely because it's kind of like a teenager, or the ugly duckling in in the nursery rhyme. Yeah, get rid of that. It's annoying me, that little vertical line there. Okay, I'm going to dry that off and see how that looks, because you just can't tell at this early stage, or halfway stage. Okay, I'm rather beginning to like this way the blue here blended in with that gold and made a green. And I realise I have got some greenery coming in there, and I might make that lady's coat green. So that might just help at this stage, and just see if I can. I won't do a real bright one. I'll just add. I'll just make a dull green, but definitely got some here for the plants. I'll get a brush just to suck up in case it starts to run. Don't want that to happen. And this lady is, her shoulder is, here I'm still trying to work out figures. So I'll just add that colour in there and just see how that looks after a minute. Get a tissue and take some of that off, just to stop it running, really. Now, oh, there's more greenery. It's hard to tell it from the photo, but I'm pretty sure there's flowers and things there. So I'll add a bit more yellow into it, just to opaque it up a bit. Okay. I shall grab a nice burnt sienna and just do a vertical line down there, oh, like that. Give that a bit of a gloss. It will look like a gloss later. The guy's face in shadow. Her hair once again coming darker on that side. even though there's a side window here, I'm going to, no, okay, forget that thought. Floor. I think I'll try and put a little bit of colour into the floor. Yeah, it's a hard stage, this one. This is the make or break. Back there. Reddy burgundy colour. I might make it a purple for the back corner. Yeah. No, it's reddy burgundy, let's face it. And blue across the top there. Blue that was added to the reddy burgundy, I should say. Okay. I might start playing around with some details. Glassware. Now, when I say I'm going to play with details, it all depends on how dry it is. Because I've added more water, I think I need to do another drying session. Put down a sharp edge on that. Might put some tables outside. Really looking for little fiddly things here. I can't remember what that was. Okay. Mixing some of all the colours together here. Okay, I'm ending up with too much green. I'll just clean this up. I don't really need the green anymore. I want to get back to my normal colours. Pot is getting very, very dirty. So I'll just start. Going in for purple. Sometimes I have to make it up because it's the purple I've got there is not strong enough. I need to look for a better one. But anyone's got a comment, a good strong purple, let me know. Okay. Just going to tie this guy up. Madam, his wife. And some lamp black on the point. So where I can start coming back over. And also I need to have something that's got a lot of control. And I might go to, what did I do with that brush I was showing you guys before? Wow, I lose things in a hurry, don't I? Hold on. Threw everything behind here. Looking for one of my riggers. That one, okay. This one. Sometimes this, a good old-fashioned, what do you call this? Round watercolour brush. I'm trying to find it's size 8, okay, a size 8. The sizes vary with every brand, so don't take them religiously. So I'm going to start tidying up some of the details. by just simply painting in, like drawing in the shapes all over again. That should not be like that. That should not be like that. This couple here, I haven't finished them off. Every now and then I have a feeling I haven't turned the camera on, so I'll go and have a bit of a peek. If I go quiet, it's just I'm thinking how to rescue this thing. So the one thing you don't want to do is have it look like it's overworked, even though it is overworked. You need to add some fresh brush strokes like that at this stage. Just so it makes it look like you knew what you were doing all along. Yeah. Hat stand there, almost forgotten. And these beautiful things coming down from the ceiling. I can start off black at the top. Little circles over the side. Inside of this thing dark. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Keep that vertical. Go for a bit more green. I'm putting and dabbing into one I haven't used before, which is the I think it's Talon green. And I'm sorry, I'm whispering there because I absolutely have no idea what green that is. Of course, it's listed below. Just putting a bit of a darker green towards the top of that vine, and I'll make it some obvious leaves coming off it. I think I've done those stems about 4 times already. And the pot plant. Pretty much getting close to finishing. I think I need to add more detail to the faces, in so much as not so much so that they're recognisable, but just so that they don't disappear altogether. Yeah. This lady's lost, so I'm hoping that she'll just be a bit of a shadow in the distance. I might just put her arm out like that. Her legs, of course, are gone underneath the table. Yeah, I'll just make her disappear. It's not really an easy way to do that. Lunar black. So shadowy figures have to remain shadowy. Oh. I know this is crazy using a big brush like that. I'll go with this baby. I think I've finished, by the way. I'm now what you call in the mode of playing. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of colour to this area here. Knock that back. Lunar black and purple together. That area. This area down here should be darker. Just merge that across. Okay, now see how I go with a few big bold strokes here. Sometimes they work. That's the chair. Doesn't make sense, does it? So that's going. A very clean brush. Bit of gold on it. I'll run some gold down there like that. Just reflecting the golds that are up there. Okay, so that's the bones of the painting. I'm going to now add some white and we'll see what fun we can have. But first I'll dry it off. Okay, I'm using Designer's Gouache, Winsor & Newton, and a nice pointy little brush. I thought I rescued one before that I was looking for. Oops, daisy. Oh. That one, the rigger. The water looks dark, but it's not. It's actually hasn't got much pigment in there at all. It won't make any difference to the white. I don't need to start with a perfectly clean water. So I'm just going to bring this lady back to life a little bit. Although, having said that, I'm not sure. Backs of his hands. Jacket. Here. Keeping this the right wetness is important too. Oh. I think her hand is there in the photograph. I'm not sure if she's got a hand. It's a bit hard to tell. I'll just define the jacket there. Now, some lovely white strips of reflection there. Bring the eye around to the back. Various items on their table. Drink bottles, something there, probably a vase. On this vase there. On these lights back here. I half closed my eyes at the photograph and try and see where I can pick up white areas. Bottles. Reflections. Just a few spots there. Can get a bit out of hand. I'll just put a couple of different lines there to show the confusion. If I'm confused looking at this photograph, then it's a confusing scene. The back there, there's a little bit of activity. Got to be careful I'm not wrecking up the line there that's coming down. For that particular, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there was a second lot of, I haven't put it in, doesn't matter. What I might do is just run a white line down there. That helps. Just separates that pole from what was behind it. See how dark I made that? That's a mistake. Not much I can do about it. A little bit of white on their outfits. And I don't know about the hat stand, whether I need to knock it back at all. Probably not. There's another big hat stand here that I haven't put in. So I'll put some lights on these fancy shapes. Now that means whole figure is not working properly. So the best thing to do for that is to assume that it's all in dark. So I'll just definitely take that down. Take that down. His arm, he's got his face probably a bit too big now. Make him smaller there. Kind of knock him out a bit. Best way to fix something up and get rid of them. But I'm actually not trying to get rid of him, I'm just going to it's the leg of a table. Leave that in. Jeans going down like that. A little bit better. And this lady here, I think, could have her coat a bit better defined there. Okay. Red. There. hard to decide sometimes. I think I like to go for a purple when I'm looking for a shadow colour or something to play with. Yeah. And I can come right in also and try and make this into a, yeah, I'm going to put that vertical there. Come back to that later. A little bit of detail behind, not a lot. Oh yeah, forgot that. That's good. Glad I remembered that. Sometimes I remember things later. This is those stools that are there. I don't know, am I wrecking this? I might be wrecking this now with these sketchy bits. Straighten that out. That's it. All right. What not to do at the end of a painting. Purple on the brush. Shadow there. Oh, that's right, I wanted to mark something good on that hat stand. Yeah, so I've got colour on my brush, but it's not really important. What I might do is I'll finish it here. Possible I could keep playing with it, but you know what, you tend to wreck it. I tend to wreck mine if I do overdo it. So I'm just going to put an SP on this. And I'll take off the tape, which when it's so dark, this is where you really want this nice light edge, white edge. So which ones I'll put on last. It's always good to remember where you ended up before. It doesn't matter. I'll just rip it all off. Okay. Really does brightens the image. One could say you shouldn't need to do this to have a nice bright painting. One could, one does say that. But let's see how we work out. Okay, so there's my cafe scene. Yeah. And just to give this guy a little bit of, just going to give him a bit of colour there, a bit more colour there. Very pale face there. That'll do. So these are ghosts, and the attraction is in the middle there. One more thing. One more thing. White, okay. I like catching the edge of that piece of furniture, and it just stops the eye running straight through. Okay, I'm happy with that. It's a painting. Okay, if I stand back, it looks all right, eh? Always good to get a distance. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.